Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Confidence Hustle interviews, where we talk to women from all walks of life who are killing it with their confidence. And in case you don't already know me, I'm your host, and my name is Joyce Goldberg Fine. And tonight's guest is Adrienne Donofrio. Hi, Adrienne. There she
Hi,
is.
Joyce.
She's the owner and director of FitSolutions Health and Wellness Services, and FitSolutions' mission is to educate and improve the health and wellness of our community using a realistic and supportive approach. And Adrienne, just so everybody knows Adrienne's background, she has spent the last 30 years in the fitness and wellness industry. Her experience includes commercial fitness, sports performance enhancement, corporate health and wellness, as well as community center management. Adrienne began her career in commercial fitness, managing a health club for 17 years, and eventually she found her passion in the community center environment, working with special populations. So welcome, Adrienne. How are you tonight?
Thank you. Good, very good.
Good.
Very happy to see the sun shining today, where we are anyway.
Yes, the weather's been nice.
Yeah, getting outside for sure.
Which is so important, right? It really is great. And so let's jump into our conversation and set the stage for us, Adrienne. How did you start working in the fitness industry?
Well, totally by accident. My mother used to joke because I was a very hyperactive kid and I was always jumping, and she'd say, "How is she going to earn a living? You can't earn a living running and jumping and hopping around, and you actually can."
Right.
So way back in the day, before there was personal training and gyms, there really wasn't a gym. There were, fitness salons, that type of thing, and church groups. And I went to a church to take the Jackie Sorensen style aerobics class, dance aerobics. And I would go regularly. And one day the instructor didn't show up. And the guy said to me, "Hey, you know the routine. Why don't you come up here?" And I started teaching classes for him. And then a gym opened up right around the corner from where I was living at the time. And I started teaching group exercise classes. I had originally gone to school for physical education in college, right? So that's how it transpired. I was getting back in shape after having my first child after that. And I was there and they pulled me up and that was it. I got the job and
never looked back.
Never looked back. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you sort of had this fitness in your mind because you were studying to be a gym teacher, basically.
Yeah. So, got sidetracked by kids.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sidetracked by kids.
That's always the case. Yep. So let's move forward now. And you've worked with lots and lots of people and really helped people to live better lives. And I'm wondering, in your opinion, Adrienne, what you think the biggest barrier to having the confidence to begin an exercise routine might be?
Fear. Definitely fear. Fear of failure, fear of people watching you in a gym setting. We hear that often, that taking that first step into the gym and always feeling like everybody knows what they're doing but you, and that's a very scary feeling. You feel like all eyes are on you. Fear of getting injured, fear of not knowing where and how to start. How do I get going?
Yeah. Do you think that's I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you think that's mostly for women or men or equal?
I think it's mostly for women. Statistically, women have more body image issues and feel more judged about their appearance than men do. But men also feel that if they're beginners, if they're out of shape, overweight, they can have the same feelings, maybe even a little different, because as a man, your masculinity might be attached to how strong you are, how much weight you can pick up, what do you bench, what do you squat. Now, all these guys are, in there doing their thing, and that can be very intimidating for men. So it just depends.
That's really, really true. Great answer. So what do you think about, for women as they're aging, now that you and I have known each other a long time,
Yes.
and we've, been through the years together a little bit. And so we, sometimes you kind of joke about, okay, I don't look the same as I looked when I was younger. And I'm just wondering if you could share your thoughts on, does the same hold true for older women, or is there some other things that happen when an older woman walks into a gym?
Well, I think as an older woman, my experience with, I'm just going to take a step back for my career. We did something called fit plans, or when you have your initial meeting with somebody joining the gym or starting to work out, and you sit there and you talk about goals of younger women versus older women. Younger women tend to be more concerned about, appearance. How do I get rid of this? And I want to look like that. And the summer's coming and I'm, going away and I want to fit in my jeans. And we feel that as older women, but I think that it's not as important anymore. We start to look at our blood work numbers. We start to look at getting up and down the stairs, waking up and feeling some aches and pains that we never felt before. The other big thing is letting it get away from us. How did I get to this point where I can't do these things anymore? The window for a younger person is a big open window. So if you don't stick with it for a little bit of time, it's very easy to pick it up. As you age, men and women, now you start to pick back up, and it becomes the task is monumental, and there becomes a window that starts to shut as to how you can start back safely and how you can progress forward.
Right.
And you hear that often. How did I get to this? How did I get here? I can't get out of a chair. I can't get in and out of the car. All those little everyday things that were easy to do that takes you out of the game, takes you out of life, of participation.
That's really true.
Your grandchildren, your children. And
so
that's hard.
Yes, very. And I guess that leads me to my next question. So let's say, somebody's sort of been out of the game for a while and they want to get back in, but they're having back issues or things are happening that, never used to happen when they were younger. And they want to hire a personal trainer or get involved in an exercise program. How would they know if they haven't really been taking care of themselves or working out on a regular basis, or just in general? How would they know what's reputable and what's not?
Well, the first thing I always recommend is to look at the coach or the trainer or the facility and find out if they're trainers or if the trainer has an education or a nationally recognized certification. That's definitely step one. Be aware of that when you go to somebody's website. If there's no certification listed or no education listed, that's a red flag. You can always, call a number and ask, but in the United States, you are not required by law, and in the state of New Jersey also, you're not required by law to be certified. You're not required to have CPR. You're not required to have insurance. So it's up to the trainer to decide, or the facility, what standards you're going to set for the people you hire. So always ask those questions. Meet with that trainer first. You can ask for referrals. Take a note of how they approach things with you. Are they giving you a readiness questionnaire, a PAR-Q, we call it in the industry, which will ask about your health history. And then when you do have something a red flag like a blood pressure or an orthopedic issue, anything along those lines, that they can make recommendations that are sound, that they don't go, okay, well, or we're just going to go into it and I'm going to throw heavy weights on you and we're going to do this, that, the other thing, and all this fancy stuff. You take a step back. Everything should be a slow progression. And if the first session doesn't go well, don't go buy a big package until you have a first session with somebody to see if you mesh. It is personal training. So on top of knowledge, make sure you connect with that person, because you're going to be sharing a lot of different information, health-wise, goal-wise. So make sure you mesh with that person. And then if they're not listening to you, so you're doing your first session and you're saying, this hurts, this doesn't feel good, or this, and they're ignoring you or pushing you, or the no pain, no gain attitude, that's not the case anymore.
Right.
So if you don't feel comfortable, don't be intimidated by that. Don't let anybody push you around when you're in that training session.
Right.
If I'm going to push somebody in a training session, I've known them for a long time and we've worked together for a long time. So I know when I can push them and when I can't, because we've built a history together. Right out of the gate, pushing somebody is not the best way. And if you don't feel like you're sweating and dying the first session, don't worry about it. You don't need to be the first session. You'll get there.
And most likely, even if you don't feel that way in the first session, when you wake up 2 days later, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, because there's a teaching curve. I have to teach my clients the proper moves before we can get into anything heavy. I've got to break down our movement patterns. There's 5 important movement patterns that I have to teach to a client. And until you can do them, we don't go any further. Some people can do them the first session. Some people, it takes 5 months for them to learn those movement patterns. But they're important, because if you get hurt and you go out of the gate too fast, you're constantly starting over again and over again. And that you become discouraged, or you get injured to a point where you don't come back,
And the older you get, you really have to watch.
The older you get, the more serious those injuries are. So always look at those things: qualifications, education, listening to you, taking you seriously.
Not pushing.
You're the boss. I mean,
you're the customer.
I'm the professional, but bottom line is you're my boss. You're paying me, and I have to listen to you when you're telling me this isn't working for you.
Right. It's great advice, Adrienne. No, it's really very, very helpful. And so in addition to that, there's also tons and tons of free online classes and advice, and all over social media. How do you know what's legit and what isn't?
Well, jokes aside, if they don't have their clothes on, move on to the next person.
Right.
Shirtless guys, crop tops, women, filtered. That's great. You have great abs. Do I want to see that? When I'm starting out, it's just going to make me feel like I can't do that.
So discouraging.
It's not professional.
Right.
So you should be, appearance does have something to do with how that person, you need to look the part of a trainer. Your trainer needs to look professional, in professional workout clothes, with professional equipment. Look to see who's following your coach. Okay, and look to see who your coach is following. So if your coach is only followed, they've got 50,000 followers. Oh boy, they must be great. No, they can buy followers, A. B, is it the general public following them? I look at coaches, and when I see that there are physical therapists following them, or they're following physical therapists, or they're following industry pros, you may not know that as a
beginner,
as a consumer, but you get a feel for who they're following. There are a ton of professionally, the people who I go to, my mentors, who I learn from.
right.
You can see that because they'll have MD, PTMD, MS, Masters of Science, Masters of Physical Therapy. Well, an older person would be Masters now that it's only a doctoral program. But I look to see who they're following and who they're sharing.
Okay.
Watch out for those celebrity trainers.
Interesting.
That's great. I see it all the time, and I can't even watch what's going on. So that's huge. See who they're following and who's following them.
Great point.
Because a physical therapist is not going to follow a coach that isn't professional or doesn't know what they're doing. Stay away from fancy tricks. That's great that you can do all of this crazy stuff. Save that for your personal site, not your professional site. I mean, every once in a while, I'll put something fun on there that I could have accomplished physically. On my birthday, I'll usually do a birthday challenge, what I can still do. But it's not a bunch of, look at what I can do. I can stand on one hand and I can get my foot behind my head, and that's all your posts. The posts should be more motivational. They should be believable, and they're not surrounded by how wonderful I am and what I can do, but sharing information about what your clients are doing. You won't necessarily see pictures of my clients or anything along those lines, because often people don't want their picture taken. They don't want to be on your social media. So it may just be myself or my family or motivational quotes, but again, the shirtless, half your body hanging, and it's just not
right.
Run away
fast. And also that brings to mind something that you said about, people are posting tricks and things. So what about these big promises, like lose 10 pounds in 10 days? And
if that was true, I would have done it, and I'd have quit the gym 20 years ago.
So
it just doesn't happen like that. The body doesn't work that way. Some of us are blessed with genetics. I use my father. Well, my father's always been active, but he's never had to worry about his weight.
Right.
And some of us fight it our whole lives. Yes. I've had to watch my weight and watch what I eat my whole life. If weight loss happens to be your goal, it's long term. And I don't mean that to sound discouraging. I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, I can't get there. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't have fun and enjoy yourself. But anytime it's 2 weeks to great abs, or
that's a red flag.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's long term, and it's long term with short term goals. There's no magic trick.
Feel like you're accomplishing.
You can't burn, you can't spot reduce. So any exercise you do that's just, hey, we're going to do a bunch of, we're going to get you 6-pack abs by doing all this, 6-minute abs. It doesn't work that way. You don't turn muscle into fat. Muscle's muscle, fat's fat. Fat's a fuel. We burn the fuel. We take in too many calories. We store our fuel. It's like filling your gas tank. If you don't drive it, the gas isn't going to burn off. It's the same with the human body. So yeah, there's no quick fixes.
Right. Even though people wish and want that, and they're so
I
used to
wish, yes,
immediate gratification, but really it's so great that, you're so knowledgeable and you're really setting the expectation for people, which is, I guess, the best way to do it, because somebody's going to come in with these very high expectations and expect all these miracles, and it's just not that way. So,
yes. And when it comes to nutrition and changing your eating habits, you're going to look for somebody also that has a good, solid education
right.
behind them, a registered dietitian, a nutritionist. Um,
Same as if you were to go to a doctor. You're not going to go to a
yeah,
doctor who didn't go to med school.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think it
It's
would probably be the same way. So speaking of not the doctor, but I guess it segues me to my next question. Um, what about people who are out of shape, injured, or they're beginners? Who would you trust your out of shape, injured, or beginner body to?
it goes back to the certified
Hmm.
uh, trainer. Um, so I'll give you an example. If I take on a new client and they have all these conditions and we look at their health history questionnaire, I may refer them out to a physical therapist first and say, you know what, New Jersey has open access now, so you do not need, with most insurance, a doctor's prescription for physical therapy. I might say, you know what, um, this is, I say, above my pay grade.
Hmm.
If I don't know, if I can't help you, I'm going to send you to the person who can. And I have a good network of professionals I can send people to that I feel comfortable sending people to. Go see the physical therapist and then have them call me. The client's going to have to sign a release with the physical therapist.
Hmm.
And then I do usually a conference call or a Zoom with the physical therapist. What can I do? What can't I do? Um, Sometimes I'll meet with the physical therapist and sit in on a session with them. Most will allow that.
Hmm.
And I watch and go with their recommendations as to how we approach this slowly and get them back on their feet.
Great.
Um,
Hmm.
and if we start working together, I don't want to go on, but too long. I had a client, I had back surgery and was cleared, and we started working together, and everything that we were doing was working, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Hmm.
And all of those go-to back exercises that were safe and recommended were causing him pain. And I said, you know what, we got to stop. Let's just stop right here. I want you to go back, see the orthopedist. I'm going to reach out to the physical therapist. And I said, I don't understand. Soft tissue, there's nothing going on here. He said, it's neurological. Something is he said he needs to see the neurologist. There's some sort of impingement in the spine going on, because all of these exercises he should be pain free. And we're racking our brains working on this. I refer to the professional, sends him to the doctor, and it turned out he had something called a synovial cyst that sat on his spine. So anytime he moved his spine, that pressure
Very
was
painful.
causing pain for him, and he had to go back uh, to the spine specialist. Surgery was the only option for him. Physical therapy again. And then I met with the physical therapist after the last few sessions, and we started back again. So this happens sometimes.
Right. I just, you know, I know you for such a long time, and just, everything that you're talking about, and you're so knowledgeable. And what about all of this, Adrienne, gives you the confidence to continue working with these people, and to know that, maybe there's somebody that wants to keep moving on, and you're saying, no, we need to take a step back because something's not right, and you need to go back to PT or to your doctor or what have you. What gives you the confidence to, because like you said before, these are paying customers and you have to listen to your customer, but at the same time, you know yourself, you've been there, done that. how do you move forward with your confidence, knowing that you are making the right recommendation, being that, you've been doing this for a while, you're a pro?
To know enough to know I don't know enough,
I love it.
to know that I
So
don't have
say a little
the
bit more about
answers.
that. Okay.
If I don't know, then I have to find somebody who knows. So having the confidence to be able to say, I have no clue. I have no clue. Because that's a scary thing to say when you're the professional, to say, what happens if your mechanic says, I don't have a clue why your car is not working. Well, I'm not going to fake it till I make it with somebody's health and wellness.
Right.
If I don't know, am I perfect? There are times maybe I think I know, but I know more as much as I should, but I know enough to know when I don't know enough, and to be able to say, I can't help you. Um, you're going to have to go see the doctor. You're going to have to go see a medical professional because I'm at a loss.
Right. Got it.
Um, you
And
know,
that takes a lot. I mean, that takes a lot, I would imagine, because a lot of women especially go through like what's, imposter syndrome, where they're thinking, I don't know enough. I should know all the answers, and beat themselves up over it. But in the end, like you said, this is somebody's body, their health, and you can never be too careful.
you can't. I had one woman I was training, and we were working together, and I noticed she had a lot of tremors going on.
Mhm.
And I had said to her, this is something you need to go get checked out. I don't know, I didn't want to scare her, but I noticed it was progressing.
Right.
And I said, just please go see your primary care physician. And then her primary care physician said, don't worry about it. I said,
Right.
get a second opinion.
Right. Hmm.
Get a second opinion. I said, I'm not anybody special, but I can just tell you that that's not a good answer for why you're shaking and you never shook before,
Right.
why your hand can't sit still.
Yes.
And she
Right.
did. She went on, got 2 neurological consults, and unfortunately, she found out she had Parkinson's,
Mhm.
the onset of Parkinson's,
Right.
and exercise is recommended for that, which was really great. But she was able to kind of get on the right medication, and you
Hmm.
know, it goes back again to people, whether it's your trainer or your doctor, listening to you. Uh,
Yes.
but
Right.
yeah, so there's always times where you're not always, but there are times when you're working with people physically where you just notice different things, and it's time to refer out.
That's great.
Definitely time to refer
Right.
out.
Right. So I'm coming to my last question, and I was hoping you could share with us what the absolute most important piece of advice you give to your clients is.
It works if you're consistent. Don't expect to work out once a week
Hmm.
or once a month and see change.
Right.
It doesn't have to be every day is a workout and I'm going to kill it today. Sometimes it's just physical activity, getting out for a walk, going into your garden,
Hmm.
but be consistent with your exercise program, with your stretches, with your mobility work. If you're consistent with me, if you show up and you do your homework, because everybody gets homework to do. Sometimes it's just stretching before bed and stretching in the morning. Sometimes it's cardiovascular exercise that I want the person to get out and move a little bit more, because they're sitting too much during the course of the day with their their job. They might be at a desk. Whatever the advice is to be consistent, and you will always see results. If you're not consistent and you just don't show up,
Hmm.
it's not going to work. If you're going to cancel your sessions, if you're not going to take it seriously, if you're not going to make the appointment with yourself for your workout, schedule it in your calendar so that when you go to do something, your doctor's appointment, whatever, I'm sorry, that's my scheduled workout time. You don't have to tell people that's your workout time. but keep it in your calendar so you'll always make the excuse not to do it.
Right.
Just be consistent and you will get results.
Great advice, Adrienne. I love it. And this has been a really enlightening conversation. And I feel like I learned so much, even though I've known you for so long. But I feel like every time we talk about stuff like this, I learn something new from you because you're so knowledgeable and you know your stuff so well. And I happen to know that the people that work with you get results, and you really, I feel like you really work hard at forming relationships with your clients, which is so nice. And you really get to know them, which is like,
Thanks,
I
Joyce.
feel like that sets you apart from so many people, which is really great. And you're so confident, which is a bonus.
So only in this area, that's all.
Hey,
It's the only place I am.
you have to be confident in something, right? No one's confident in everything. So
this and putting children to bed.
Yes.
I can put children to bed.
Hey, that's a skill. So I wanted to thank you again for
thanks for having me.
Thank you.
This has
been really, really great conversation, and I want you to share with our viewers and listeners, if they are interested in reaching out to you, how would they find you, and share with us your contact information.
You can find me at FitSolutionsHW, Health and Wellness, that stands for. That's my website. That's my Instagram, and that is also my Facebook. It's A Donofrio, ADONOFRIO at FitSolutionsHW. You can email me. I'm happy to do a one-on-one, face-to-face like this. Free consult just to talk about what I call a fit plan, just to talk about what you want to do and if I'm the right person to help you. If not, again, I do have other resources. I can send you to a different trainer that might be more your speed, if maybe you want more intensity or whatever the case may be. But I'm happy to work with anybody and answer any questions somebody might have.
Wonderful.
So,
thank you.
Thanks.
So
Welcome.
It's been great talking to you, and
It's good talking to you too, Joyce. I miss you. I miss North Jersey.
I know, right? You have to come back up and visit, and luckily we're not that far away from each other. And I just wanted to thank everybody for watching tonight, and to let everybody know that the Confidence Hustle interviews are brought to you by Joyce Goldberg Consulting, that my consultancy, and we create the professional content women-owned small businesses need to build their credibility and ultimately build their business. To learn more, you can go to my website, which is joycegoldberg.com, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch even more amazing and inspiring interviews like the one we just did tonight with Adrienne. And my YouTube channel is my full name, which is Joyce Goldberg Fine. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching.
Everybody. Thanks,
Have a
Joyce.
great night, and we'll see you soon at the next Hustle interview. Take care.